In the mystical world of Norse mythology, the prophecy of Ragnarok cast a long, ominous shadow over the universe. This was no ordinary tale, but a monumental saga set to conclude with the cataclysmic destruction of the known cosmos. According to the ancient Eddas, this apocalyptic event was destined to bring about the downfall of the mightiest gods and the subsequent rise of a new, reborn world. The air itself seemed thick with anticipation and dread, as the deities of Asgard, each aware of their impending doom, readied themselves for what was to come. It was as if the very fabric of reality braced for the inevitable unraveling. The seeds of Ragnarok were sown with the tragic demise of Baldur, the god revered for his luminescence and purity. For the full story of Baldur's death, check out the video in the top right corner. His death was not just a loss but a symbol, a dire portent foreshadowing the chaos to ensue. The weapon? A seemingly innocuous dart fashioned from mistletoe, the only entity capable of breaching Baldur's defenses. The perpetrator? His blind brother Hodr, who was manipulated into this act by the ever-scheming Loki. This heartbreaking event sent shockwaves throughout the realms, plunging gods and mortals alike into a profound grief. It was understood by all as the first unmistakable sign of the apocalypse foretold, marking the beginning of the end. As Ragnarok's presence loomed closer, its influence began to erode the very foundations of society. The Norse world, once held together by sacred oaths and a robust social order, started to unravel. Loyalty and kinship, the cornerstones of societal structure, began to crumble under the weight of broken promises and betrayals. Gods and mortals caught in this moral disintegration witnessed the collapse of trust and order, a chilling prelude to the catastrophic battle that was to come. This moral disintegration was a clear signal that the world, as they knew it, was teetering on the edge of irreversible change. As the fateful day of Ragnarok approached in Norse mythology, the event was foretold by the crowing of 3 mystical roosters, each signaling a specific realm of the cosmos. The first, a golden rooster named Gullinkambi, resided in Asgard, the realm of the gods. His crowing served as a wake-up call to the gods and heroes, alerting them to the impending doom. In Jötunheim, the land of the giants, the red rooster Fjalar crowed, warning the giants of the approaching end of times. Finally, in the underworld of Hel, a soot-red rooster's crow heralded the rise of the dead. This trio of roosters, each with a distinct role, marked the beginning of the end, setting in motion the events of Ragnarok. An integral part of the Ragnarok narrative involved the darkening of the sun and moon. This cosmic event was caused by the ferocious wolves Skoll and Hati. According to the myth, these wolves had been in relentless pursuit of the sun and moon across the sky. When Ragnarok neared, they finally succeeded in their chase, capturing and devouring these celestial bodies. Their success plunged the world into darkness and was a significant sign that the final battle of Ragnarok was imminent. Preceding the ultimate battle of Ragnarok was the Fimbulwinter, a brutal and unrelenting winter that spanned 3 years, with no intervening summers. This prolonged period of cold and hardship was unlike anything the world had seen before. During the Fimbulwinter, the world was plagued by wars and societal bonds disintegrated, leading to widespread chaos and strife. This harsh winter set the stage for the ultimate confrontation between the gods and the forces of chaos. Loki's escape from his imprisonment was a pivotal moment in the saga of Ragnarok. Known for his cunning and trickster nature, Loki had been bound by the gods as a punishment for his role in the death of Baldur. He was confined far from Asgard, in a remote location where he remained under constant torment. His wife, Sigyn, stayed by his side, catching venom that dripped onto Loki. But whenever she had to empty the bowl she collected it in, Loki suffered greatly. This suffering caused earthquakes in the world of mortals. However, as Ragnarok approached, Loki managed to break free from his bonds. His escape was more than just a physical liberation. It symbolized the breaking of the old order and set the stage for his role in the ultimate confrontation during Ragnarok, where he would align himself against the gods, fighting alongside the giants. Simultaneously, Fenrir, the fearsome wolf and son of Loki, shattered his own bonds. He had been bound by the gods with the magical chain Gleipnir, which was said to be unbreakable. However, as Ragnarok neared, Fenrir's immense strength allowed him to break free, unleashing a terror that even the gods feared. The liberation of Fenrir was a significant omen, signaling the onset of chaos and destruction that would characterize Ragnarok. Another harbinger of the coming chaos was the emergence of Jörmungandr, the Midgard serpent. This colossal serpent, also a child of Loki, had been lying dormant, encircling the earth. As Ragnarok drew closer, Jörmungandr released its tail, causing massive waves and disturbances in the oceans. This act not only signified the serpent's readiness for the impending battle, but also wreaked havoc across the lands. In the underworld realm of Helheim, presided over by Loki's daughter Hel, preparations were also underway. The hound Garm, which guarded the gates of Helheim, let out a loud bark, signaling the release of the dead warriors. These spectral forces, comprising both heroes and villains from their past lives, readied themselves to join the final clash on the battlefield of Ragnarok. This gathering of the dead was yet another sign that the time of Ragnarok was at hand. In the colossal realm of Jötunheim, home to the formidable Jotuns or giants, a stirring of immense proportions began as the dawn of Ragnarok neared. These giants, known for their immense size, strength, and magical abilities, have long been in conflict with the gods of Asgard. As the signs of Ragnarok became evident, the Jotuns, embodying the raw forces of nature and chaos, rallied their ranks. They saw the impending apocalypse as a prime opportunity to challenge the established order of the gods and possibly overthrow it. Jötunheim, often described as rugged and volatile, served as the perfect breeding ground for these beings who thrived in the untamed landscapes. Throughout Norse mythology, there are numerous accounts of gods, particularly Thor, venturing into Jötunheim, either in pursuit of adventure or to reclaim stolen items, suggesting a long history of interaction and conflict between the two realms. The Icelandic sagas, including the Prose Edda and the Poetic Edda, offer detailed accounts of these interactions, illustrating the complex relationship between the gods and the giants. Loki's role in the events leading to Ragnarok is equally critical. After escaping from his confinement, he took command of the Naglfar, a ghostly ship constructed from the nails of the dead. This eerie vessel, carrying a host of monstrous beings, set sail towards the battlefield of the gods. The Naglfar, with Loki at its helm, was not just a ship. It was the embodiment of his deep-seated resentment and desire for vengeance against the gods who had wronged him. Loki's family history and his complex relationship with the other gods shaped his role in Norse mythology. Loki led his children, including Hel, the goddess of death, Jörmungandr, the world serpent, and Fenrir, the wolf, as well as the giants of Jötunheim, to Asgard, all playing a significant role in the events of Ragnarok. As a shapeshifter and a master of deception, Loki's actions were driven by his cunning and a desire to cause chaos. His ability to transform into various forms, including that of a salmon, allowed him to evade capture and continue his schemes. The Naglfar, under Loki's command, was more than just a vessel. It was a symbol of the chaos and destruction that he would bring to the final battle of the gods. Surtr, a central figure in the Ragnarok prophecy, emerges from Muspelheim, the fiery realm in the southernmost part of the Norse cosmos. Known as the Black, or the Swarthy One, Surtr embodies the fearsome power of fire and volcanic forces, resonating with the Icelandic people's experiences of their volcanic landscape. Surtr, leading the fire giants, is destined to play a pivotal role in Ragnarok. Armed with his formidable fiery sword, he stands as a symbol of both destruction and the cyclical nature of creation. His confrontation with Freyr, though leading to Freyr's demise, is also seen as a significant moment in the Ragnarok saga, marking a turning point towards the eventual renewal of the cosmos. Surtr's role in Norse mythology, especially in the context of Ragnarok, is complex and multifaceted. He is a symbol of natural forces that are both destructive and transformative. His actions during Ragnarok embody the Norse understanding of the world as a place of constant change, where destruction paves the way for new beginnings. This dual nature of Surtr, as both a bringer of the apocalypse and a symbol of rebirth, reflects the Norse view of the cosmos as an ever-evolving entity. In the mystical realm of Norse mythology, Heimdall stood as a beacon of vigilance, his role pivotal as the events of Ragnarok inched ever closer. Known for his extraordinary sight and hearing, Heimdall was more than just a guardian. He was the watchful eye of the gods, a sentinel whose visions foretold the cataclysm that was to come. Perched high in his watchtower, Heimdall gazed out across the realms. His eyes, capable of seeing hundreds of miles away, even at night, and his ears, so keen they could hear the grass growing, were always alert. As the threads of destiny weaved towards Ragnarok, Heimdall's visions grew more vivid and frequent. Heimdall witnessed the first signs of doom, the stirring of the great wolf Fenrir, whose chains began to loosen. He saw the serpent Jörmungandr writhing in the deep ocean, causing waves that threatened to engulf the world. His ears caught the distant sound of the ship Naglfar, made of the nails of the dead, being readied for the final battle. In another haunting vision, Heimdall saw the gods themselves falling one by one in battle. He witnessed the demise of Odin at the jaws of Fenrir and Thor's heroic but fatal confrontation with Jörmungandr. Each vision was a piece of the impending doom, a puzzle that, when pieced together, painted a picture of inevitable destruction. As the signs grew clearer and the threads of fate entwined, Heimdall's role became ever more crucial. He took up the Gjallarhorn, a mighty horn whose blast was meant to signal the onset of Ragnarok to the gods. The sounding of the Gjallarhorn was a monumental event in the Ragnarok saga. Heimdall, upon witnessing the assembly of the chaotic forces, blew this mighty horn. The sound of the Gjallarhorn echoed across all realms, signifying the start of Ragnarok and acting as a call to arms for the gods and heroes of Asgard. This act marked the transition from prophecy to reality, signaling the beginning of the end and the commencement of the great battle. In Norse mythology, the Valkyries and Einherjar are integral to the narrative of Ragnarok. The Valkyries, known as choosers of the slain, are formidable female entities who select the most valiant warriors on the battlefield. These chosen warriors are then escorted to Valhalla, the majestic hall of Odin. In Valhalla, they are transformed into Einherjar, the elite warriors who spend their days preparing for the final battle of Ragnarok. The Einherjar, selected for their bravery and valor, train tirelessly, engaging in battles during the day and healing their wounds each night, ready to rise again the next day. The Einherjar were more than just warriors. They were also involved in intellectual and philosophical pursuits, preparing them not only physically, but mentally for the ultimate battle of Ragnarok. In this apocalyptic event, they were destined to fight alongside the gods against the forces of chaos and destruction, embodying the Norse ideals of heroism and sacrifice. The Valkyries, in their role as selectors and guides, held significant power in determining the fate of warriors, and their selection was based on the warriors' valor and combat prowess. The Bifrost Bridge, a rainbow bridge connecting Asgard to other worlds, was crucial in Norse mythology. Its destruction during the events of Ragnarok signified the irreversible breakdown of the cosmic order. As the ominous clouds of Ragnarok gathered, the Bifrost, usually shimmering with radiant colors, began to show signs of strain. The bridge, created by the gods as a means of travel between realms, started to lose its luster, its colors dimming under the shadow of impending doom. The final assault on the Bifrost was led by the giants, the sworn enemies of the gods. These colossal beings, armed with their immense strength and fury, marched towards the bridge, intent on reaching Asgard. The gods, aware of the approaching danger, prepared to defend their realm and the bridge that connected them to the other worlds. The battle for the Bifrost was fierce and desperate. Gods and giants clashed, the sound of their combat echoing through the realms. Despite the gods' valiant efforts, the giants' onslaught was relentless. In a catastrophic moment, the bridge began to crack under the strain of battle, its once radiant colors fading into oblivion. With a thunderous roar that shook the very foundations of the world, the Bifrost shattered, its fragments cascading into the void. The destruction of the bridge severed the connection between Asgard and the other realms, symbolizing the chaos and disruption that Ragnarok brought. The fall of the Bifrost was a pivotal moment in the saga of Ragnarok. It signaled the point of no return, marking the imminent arrival of the final battle and the end of the old world. The gods, now cut off from the other realms, faced their destiny in isolation, their last link to the universe irreparably broken. Yggdrasil, the immense world tree in Norse mythology, connects the 9 realms of the cosmos. As Ragnarok approached, Yggdrasil trembled, affected by the chaos unfolding. This shaking of the world tree was a significant indicator of the severity of the events of Ragnarok, as it impacted all realms connected by Yggdrasil. The trembling of Yggdrasil symbolized the cosmic magnitude of Ragnarok and its effects across the entire Norse cosmos, highlighting the interconnectedness of all realms and the profound impact of the cataclysmic events. As the apocalyptic event of Ragnarok unfurled, not a single realm in the mystical universe was left untouched. Elves and dwarves, among other extraordinary beings, found themselves swept up in this cosmic upheaval. In the ethereal forests, the elves were divided. Light elves, luminous and ethereal, witnessed their shimmering abodes dim under Ragnarok's shadow. They chose a path of resistance, arming themselves with bows of celestial make, their arrows set to pierce the chaos. Dark elves, in contrast, dwelled in underground caverns, their demeanor as murky as their homes. As the end of days approached, they emerged, not to fight alongside their lighter kin, but to seize opportunities amidst the chaos, their intentions mysterious and motives self-serving. Deep within their mountain fortresses, the dwarves responded to Ragnarok with stoic determination. Masters of the forge, they crafted weapons and armor, not just for themselves, but for gods and heroes alike. Their creations rang out, a symphony of metal and fire, as they prepared to defend their ancient halls against the encroaching doom. For 3 long years, the battlefield of Ragnarok became known as the Plains of Vigrid. This vast plain was the grand stage for a clash that would decide the fate of all realms. This battlefield witnessed the fury of gods, the valor of heroes, and the destruction of monsters. Gods wielding powers beyond comprehension fought with a fury that shook the heavens. Thunder roared as Thor swung his mighty hammer, Mjolnir, cleaving through ranks of monstrous foes. Odin, the Allfather, led with a strategist's mind and a warrior's heart, his spear never missing its mark. Giants, embodiments of chaos and destruction, stormed the battlefield with brutish strength and terrifying might. Their roars echoed, challenging the gods as they wreaked havoc with every step. Loki and his children, all forces to be reckoned with, proved their fearsome reputation as they dominated the battlefield. Loki with his cunning and trickery, Fenrir and his incredible strength, Hel and her army of the dead, and Jörmungandr dominating the seas and sending waves of water at their foes. Monsters of all fearsome forms, some with serpentine bodies and others with multiple heads, added to the chaos. Amongst these divine and monstrous beings, heroes of mortal origin stood tall. The Einherjar fought not with divine powers, but with courage and skill honed through a lifetime of battles. Each swing of their swords, each notch of their arrows, was a testament to their undying spirit in the face of overwhelming odds. As the war raged, the plain of Vigrid was transformed. Once a vast expanse of tranquility, it now resonated with the clash of steel, the roar of magic, and the cries of the fallen. This was not just a battlefield, it was the crucible in which the fate of all realms was being forged. Amidst the chaos of Ragnarok, a momentous battle unfolded that would shape the course of history. Fenrir, the colossal wolf, freed from his chains, faced Odin. This was not merely a battle, it was the culmination of a prophecy long foretold. Fenrir, with fur as black as the night and eyes glowing with a fiery wrath, lunged towards Odin. The earth quaked beneath his enormous paws. Odin, clad in gleaming armor, met the beast head-on. He rode Sleipnir, his eight-legged steed, weaving through Fenrir's attacks with divine agility. Odin thrust his spear, Gungnir, aiming for Fenrir's heart. But the wolf, massive and swift, dodged with a growl that echoed through the realms. They circled each other, a dance of death, as Fenrir snapped ferociously. Then, in a moment of chilling horror, Fenrir's jaws found their mark. Odin, the Allfather, was no more, swallowed whole by the monstrous wolf. On the same battlefield, a duel steeped in history reached its zenith. Loki, the god of mischief, and Heimdall, the guardian of the Bifrost and watchman of the gods, clashed in a fight that was as much about cunning as strength. Loki, with his trickster's grin, conjured illusions to disorient Heimdall. But the guardian, with eyes that could see for hundreds of miles, was not easily fooled. Heimdall's sword, Hofud, shone brightly, cutting through Loki's deceptions. The battle raged, a flurry of steel and sorcery. In a decisive moment, Heimdall broke through Loki's defenses, landing a fatal blow. However, Loki, in his last act of defiance, dealt a deadly wound to Heimdall. The two adversaries fell together, their ancient feud ending in mutual destruction. In the midst of Ragnarok's chaos, a fierce battle ensued between Garm, the monstrous hound, and Tyr, the god of war and justice. Their conflict symbolized a deep struggle between the untamed wild and the principles of law and order. Garm, with jaws dripping venom and eyes ablaze with madness, lunged at Tyr. The hound's howls were like thunder, shaking the ground. Tyr, armored in battle gear that shone under the darkened sky, met the beast with a calm resolve. His sword gleamed, ready to impose the order of justice upon the wild fury of Garm. They clashed, a symphony of snarls and steel. Tyr, despite having only one hand, fought with unmatched skill, his blade dancing through Garm's relentless assaults. However, the hound's ferocity was overwhelming. In a final, desperate move, Tyr plunged his sword into Garm's heart, silencing the beast forever. Yet, in this act, Tyr suffered mortal wounds, collapsing beside his fallen adversary, a testament to the high cost of maintaining order over chaos. The battlefield of Ragnarok bore witness to another pivotal moment. Vidar, the silent god, stood against Fenrir, the colossal wolf who had slain Odin. This encounter was charged with the weight of vengeance and destiny. Vidar, silent and stoic, advanced towards Fenrir. His heavy boots, made from the contributions of all the people of Midgard, were designed to withstand Fenrir's mighty jaws. His gaze was firm, his purpose clear, to avenge his father and fulfill his destiny. In a swift and brutal confrontation, Vidar faced Fenrir's savage fury. As the wolf snapped its jaws, Vidar thrust his foot into Fenrir's mouth, pushing against the lower jaw. With his hands, he gripped the upper jaw and, using his incredible strength, tore the wolf apart. Fenrir's howl ceased, and the great beast fell, slain by Vidar's silent but unyielding wrath. The most anticipated clash of Ragnarok unfolded as Thor, the god of thunder, faced his arch-enemy Jörmungandr, the colossal sea serpent. This battle was a cataclysmic event, a confrontation between the forces of storm and sea. Thor, wielding his mighty hammer Mjolnir, struck at Jörmungandr with the fury of 1,000 storms. Lightning crackled, thunder boomed, and the earth trembled under their might. Jörmungandr, immense and powerful, coiled around mountains, its venomous breath poisoning the air. The battle raged, each blow from Thor answered by the serpent's venomous counterattacks. In a decisive moment, Thor summoned all his strength and struck a final crushing blow to Jörmungandr's head. The serpent writhed in agony, then lay still, defeated. However, Thor, drenched in the serpent's poisonous venom, staggered only 9 steps before falling dead, marking the end of the thunder god. Lastly, Surtr, the fire giant, battled Freyr, the god of fertility. This fight was a stark contrast between destruction and growth, fire and earth. Surtr, wielding a flaming sword that scorched the air itself, unleashed a fiery onslaught. His strikes were like eruptions, setting the battlefield ablaze. Freyr, agile and resilient, fought back with the might of the earth, his every move a tribute to the enduring power of nature. Despite his valor, Freyr, no longer wielding his magical sword, which he had given away, found himself overpowered by the fiery might of Surtr. With a final, devastating blow, Surtr struck down Freyr, marking the end of the god of fertility. Surtr's victory was a grim reminder of the unstoppable force of fire and destruction. After his victory, Surtr lays waste to the rest of the realms, destroying everything in his path. Having burned everything to ruin, the realms sink into the depths of the ocean. Surtr is believed to fall victim to his own success as he drowns along with the rest of the world. In the aftermath of Ragnarok, the once vibrant world lay in ruins, a shadow of its former self. The 9 realms would be forever changed, with Asgard, Vanaheim, Alfheim, Midgard, Nidavellir, Helheim, and Jötunheim all being destroyed and sinking into the depths of the oceans before re-emerging anew. The realms of Muspelheim and Niflheim are believed to be unchanged, as they themselves are the 2 primal realms of the universe. Yet, from these ashes and ruins, a glimmer of hope emerged. Amidst the survivors, 2 humans, Lif and Lifthrasir, meaning life and life of the body, also found refuge. They were destined to become the progenitors of a new human race, symbolizing the resilience and enduring spirit of life. Lif and Lifthrasir, the last of humankind, had miraculously survived the devastation, hidden within the depths of Yggdrasil. As the world around them crumbled, they remained protected, a faint ember of human life waiting to rekindle. When the dust settled, they emerged wide-eyed and filled with awe at the task before them to repopulate and rejuvenate human existence. The surviving gods, including Vidar and Vali, sons of Odin along with Modi and Magni, heirs of Thor, witnessed the emergence of Lif and Lifthrasir. In addition, Baldur, the god of light and purity, once slain by his brother Hodr's hand, was miraculously revived. Alongside him, Hodr, previously a tool in Loki's deceit, also returned to life. Their rebirth was not just a revival of 2 gods, but a beacon of light and hope in a world shadowed by destruction. In the quiet aftermath, the air shimmered with a gentle light as Baldur awakened. His presence alone seemed to cleanse the air of the remnants of war. Next to him, Hodr stood, no longer blinded either by physical darkness or deceit. Their eyes met, and in that glance there was forgiveness and understanding, a silent acknowledgement of their shared fate and renewed purpose. The remaining gods, now the new guardians of the cosmos and symbols of rebirth, embraced their role in guiding and protecting this nascent humanity. Together, they all stood around Yggdrasil, which remained a steadfast symbol of life's endurance and interconnectedness. This new beginning was marked by a spirit of cooperation and hope. The gods shared their wisdom with Lif and Lifthrasir, teaching them the secrets of the earth, the sky, and the stars. The 2 humans, embodying the resilience and adaptability of their species, thrived under the gods' tutelage. They sowed the seeds of a new generation, gradually filling the world with laughter and life once more. In this reborn world, free from the shadows of the old conflicts and united by fresh hopes and dreams, the cycle of life continued. The legacy of Ragnarok, now a tale of ancient times, served as a poignant reminder of the ever-present cycle of destruction and rebirth. This new world, rising from the remnants of the old, carried forward the echoes of the past, a reflection of the unyielding cycle of existence and the perpetual promise of new beginnings. Thank you all for watching all the way to the end. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed making it. What did you think? Let me know in the comments below. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, then welcome to the channel. I hope I earned a like and subscription in your eyes. If not, that's okay. I'll keep making videos until I do earn it. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for your continued support. I truly appreciate all the views, likes, subscriptions, and kind words and messages. Without you, this channel wouldn't be here today. That's it for now. I hope to see you all in the next one.